9:30 p.m. Eastern Time on ESPN2 against number 9 UCLA, Oregon softball. Then baseball. The regional is in Eugene. Get to PK Park this weekend. No excuses, no nothing. Just get to PK Park. Just like you got to the Jane Sanders Stadium was rocking. It was absolutely, positively rocking. And it was so awesome to see. And Oregon softball is going to the Women's College World Series, where I have been personally. It's phenomenal. Talk about that more in a moment. But they're going there for the first time since 2018 and for the first time in Melissa Lombardi's tenure. And let that be a lesson to us as football fans that it can take a long time to break through, because Melissa Lombardi's a really good coach, has had a really good program with a bunch of great players. And this is the first time they've gotten all the way to the Women's College World Series. But, my two keys going into the Super Regional with Liberty, shout out to the Flames. Can we play them in every postseason ever? Fiesta Bowl, not close. Men's basketball, dominant. Softball game 1 was tight, but Des Patman's a legend with another walk-off hit. So what are you going to do? What a stretch for Des Patman, Oregon legend in the athletics department. And in my mind, and hopefully in your mind too, because I don't know what the clutch award in a regional tournament or super regional for softball is, but to have the walk-off homer against Stanford to send Oregon to the super regional, and then the next game, the walk-off single to beat Liberty in game 1, come on. There's nobody else you would rather have at the plate if you're an Oregon fan in a big spot than Des Patman. There just isn't. So that was awesome stuff to see. But the second game, they beat Liberty 13-1. I mean, they play the Flames. Just play the Flames. Figure out a way. Rig the schedule, rig the postseason structure, do whatever you got to do. Just keep playing Liberty, man. Keep playing Liberty. So, Oregon baseball will not be playing Liberty. They have got Arizona, Cal Poly, and Utah Valley out of the Western Athletic Conference. Shout out the WAC and my SU T-Birds, but who do not have baseball. But that's the 4 that are in the regional starting this week. So, get to PK Park. It's great they're hosting. They got screwed because they're seated behind Oregon State, whose record is 41-12-1. Oregon's is 42-14. Oregon went 4-0 against Oregon State, still seated behind him. Brett, by the way, as annoying as that is, this is a little bit of a role reversal where Oregon is lamenting that Oregon State's brand power got them an advantage Oregon should have had or wanted. That's just the way it is. But bringing us back to softball here. 2 keys that I had going into this series. Number 1, win game 1. Did that. Oregon was up early routinely in this series. Key number 2, get Lyndsey Grein going. Lyndsey Grein had a stretch in game 2 of the Super Regional, and she had the eventual game-ending strikeout against the Flames. And the madness was on, and the stadium was rocking. It was awesome. She had a stretch where she retired, I believe it was 19 batters in a row, 19 batters in a row. And then someone reached on an infield single, and then she put the clamps down. Lyndsey Grein has been Oregon's most used, and not by ERA, but when you factor in the ERA and the innings pitched, she has been Oregon's best pitcher this year. The whole staff. Stacey Chambers has become an absolute weapon. Her cutter is nasty. Absolutely nasty. I think in softball, I call it a curveball. I have a baseball mind. I see it as a cutter. It's filthy. But she hadn't been used a ton. She's been dialed in coming in out of the bullpen and relief appearances. Absolutely phenomenal. But my biggest concern going into the series was, hey, this Liberty team can clearly hit. They had 5 girls hitting over 330 on the season. Now, averages are higher in softball, for those who don't know, than they typically are in baseball. You've got a bigger bat, longer ball. It's just a sport that plays more heavily to contact. Still, Texas A&M learned they can hit the ball. And Oregon's pitching staff was so good. I mean, so good. And the bats were a little wobbly in the first game, but did enough, came through, found a way despite the whole the challenge. I give Liberty's coach credit, frankly. She clearly saw that when Oregon would steal bases, players' feet would come off the bag. There was a whole debate about it, about, when is she leaving the bag and what if she reestablishes. It says her foot's got to be on the bag when the ball's released, but I understand the umpire's interpretation saying that if her foot flutters off the bag and there's nothing touching it, that's the first moment that she's left the bag. It doesn't matter now. The adjustment was made because that's what good coaches do. Liberty tried to challenge the same thing in game 2 unsuccessfully. So it's over. In the past, Oregon's made the adjustment. Don't overcomplicate things. Someone finds a weakness in you, make an adjustment, fix it, boom, on to the next one. But the bats got hot in game 2, but the pitching staff was just so darn good. So darn good. And, Liberty had scored, I think, at least six runs in every game in their 3-game regional series with Texas A&M, the number 1 overall seed. And yeah, that absolutely benefited Oregon, that they faced Liberty and they didn't have to face Texas A&M, and they got to host Super Regional. Guess what? They went out and took advantage. Close game in the first one, leave no doubt in the second one. So this is a big deal. Big deal. And I'm glad that so many people I've seen are, watching, engaging, all that sort of stuff, because I'm happy to, talk about football and the team and every detail of it from now until the season starts. I'm going to do that. I'm going to continue doing that. I haven't even gotten through every post-spring position group evaluation yet. We're going to get there at some point. But again, this stuff is super exciting. The team is really good. And now they go to a place that is really awesome. Omaha is probably more well known because it's college baseball, and Omaha looks fantastic. I want to go one day. Phenomenal environments. When I was living in Oklahoma, I went to the Women's College World Series the one year I was there. I'm so glad that I did. I'm stoked these girls are going to get that experience. The stadium is awesome. Needs a couple of tweaks specifically, and maybe they've made it since I've been there. I went there 4 years ago at this point in 2021. So they, needed to have a couple tweaks about how you could see the score and the count and all that sort of stuff. But the environment is great. It is, just be prepared for this. For those of you that are unaware, if Oregon ends up playing Oklahoma, that's a road game, okay? Oklahoma Sooner fans love Sooner softball. They will pack that stadium, obviously not in the same numbers because it's smaller, but they will pack that stadium and they will cheer every bit as loud as they do for Sooner football. They are absolutely rabid. Oklahoma's a powerhouse. They're the number 2 overall seed in the country, and I think with Texas A&M's elimination, they're the highest remaining seed in the entire tournament from the regionals. And Oregon's got to play UCLA, double elimination. That's where your focus is. RIP Pac-12, forever and always. It just keeps popping back up. The good old Pac-12. Bill Walton is somewhere up in heaven smiling, and I love that. But this is such a fantastic opportunity. But I'm definitely not in the mindset of, yes, it is a success to just get to this point. No, I do not believe this team has hit its ceiling. I really don't. With the way that they can pitch, commanding the zone, and the way they can swing the bat top to bottom, why not? Why not go out and win this thing? Why the heck not? But UCLA is really good. That's an incredibly strong program. They've been having a great season. No surprise there whatsoever. So I'm stoked to watch it. 9:30 Eastern, ESPN2 on Thursday. Double elimination. So if Oregon loses, their season's not done. You are on the brink. I don't have a stat in front of me. I'd imagine most teams that get to the final best of 3 series are winning their first game. But let's enjoy the ride. Let's enjoy the ride for however long it lasts. But I do not have, Oregon women's basketball this year, for instance. when they got to the NCAA tournament. I thought, you know what? I think they'll win a game. If they win 2, awesome. Don't expect them to. This is already a success. This is already a success for Oregon softball. I don't feel like their ceiling needs to be going out and, losing their first 2 games and then just be like, well, it was cool to be here. No. Team's legit. They can hit 1 through 9. They can defend. They can pitch. They are top 10. They're one of the few teams in the country that are top 10 in hitting, pitching, and fielding. I think, wait for it, that's just about every metric that matters in softball, which is a great sport. So I'm here for it. Cannot wait. Talk to you about it next time. Appreciate everyone listening. I'll see you next time. Have a wonderful rest of your day, and go Ducks.